This is a romantic thriller with elements of thriller, sweetness, twists, passion, horror, and explosive energy. The story takes place in a remote, highly classified canyon. Two elite snipers are assigned to two watchtowers. Levi, the man, is handing over his assignment to his partner. The outpost before him is where he will be stationed for the next year. Every 600 meters, there's an automated phalanx battery. He must promptly restock the batteries and inspect and maintain all the equipment within. There's no signal here. If the signal tower monitoring the monsters fails, or the canyon is overrun, the equipment will automatically activate the stray dog program. In the late 1940s, 3 battalions of 2,400 cavalrymen penetrated the canyon to eliminate them, but no one returned. Later, containment measures were implemented. Thus, he lived a monotonous, repetitive life, eating pickles and tough steaks every day. One day, Levi heard the sound of woodcutter chopping across the canyon. He peered through his binoculars and saw a voluptuous woman. From then on, he had the added task of looking at beautiful women every day. Bored and empty, the two of them suddenly remembered a man across the canyon, so they wrote on a piece of cardboard and started chatting. It turned out to be Drossa's birthday. Just as they were celebrating, Drossa noticed something unusual in the canyon below. Levi was searching for monsters and killed one. The monster's body fell, triggering a meteor bomb, and the flying grenade struck Drossa in the shoulder. Levi had no time to care about Drossa. He grabbed his machine gun and began to fire at the monsters. Drossa reluctantly joined in the attack. One monster triggered the infrared automatic cannon, and in an instant, the automatic cannons on both sides of the canyon opened fire. Drossa looked through the telescope at the opposite outpost. It was the Christmas tree Levi had prepared for Drossa. Seeing the tree, Drossa was overjoyed. From then on, they began a long-distance romance. They even built snowmen together and played chess through the telescope. Every day was filled with joy. Drossa and Levi's relationship blossomed rapidly, and they exchanged messages across the canyon daily. But at night, they found themselves alone, unable to sleep. Understanding Levi's intentions, Drossa immediately slid down to the first floor and retrieved a fire extinguisher. She first placed the extinguishers on the bunker, then climbed, leaped, and rolled over, reaching the extinguisher on the ground and putting out the fire. Once the ropes were set, Levi invited Drossa to dinner. Drossa's heart raced with anxiety. Levi shaved his beard, grabbed his backpack, and began picking wildflowers. With a running start, he slid towards the opposing outpost. Levi presented the flowers to Drossa, offering her cheesy sweet nothings. However, Drossa complained about his stench and urged him to shower first. After showering, Levi discovered his clothes hanging somewhere far away, and Drossa watched him, naked, retrieve them. Drossa and Levi developed an emotional entanglement amidst the loneliness and pressure of their lives. Flirting and flirting both relieved their feelings and propelled their relationship from soulmate to romantic. Drossa leaped onto Levi, but the wicked Levi simply lifted Drossa and dropped him to the ground. They spent the entire night together. The next day, exhausted, Levi had to return to his outpost. He kissed Drossa goodbye and had just glided into the air when a monster across from him triggered a minefield, instantly severing Levi's rope. Watching Levi plummet to the bottom of the ravine, Drossa was terrified. She hurried back to the outpost, grabbed her weapons and parachute gear, and without hesitation, leaped to the bottom. Hanging upside down in the tree, Levi was still unaware of the impending danger. A giant caterpillar with a large mouth crawled toward Levi. Levi, waking up, looked up. A hideous face pounced upon him, and he immediately attacked the monster. The sound of gunfire caught Drossa's attention. Levi broke free of his parachute and fell to the ground. After falling, he was completely glued to his body, unable to move. Claws resembling ribs slowly enveloped Levi. Just as Levi gave up his struggle, facing death alone, Drossa fired a shot, driving off the monster and helping Levi cut the bindings. Levi and Drossa cautiously explored the fog. They took refuge in a dilapidated church, quickly closing the door behind them, daring not to breathe. Everyone inside was dead. Levi picked up something smelly and said they'd been poisoned by cyanide. He wondered what kind of pain they'd endured to commit suicide. The fact that they could commit suicide clearly meant this place was hell. Drossa shone her flashlight when a skull spider suddenly lunged at her. They fired their rifles, but this attracted more skull spiders and more monsters, who attacked them. Finally, Drossa fired a grenade, opened the exit, and escaped. They found a metal gate beneath the wall. Inside, they discovered a biochemical laboratory. They discovered that the power supply system was still partially functional. The person in the video was a professor of biochemistry research. On July 12, 1946, a mysterious organization formed the Top Secret Alliance. They had invented the nuclear bomb during World War II and were also developing similarly devastating biological and chemical missiles. 6 days earlier, an 8.1 magnitude earthquake had severely damaged the facility, releasing the virus. Their mission was no longer research, but containment, ensuring the toxin did not escape from the canyon. But mutations began to manifest in them. Levi then discovered a computer from the year 2000. Computers from the year 2000 shouldn't have existed in 1946. Inside, he discovered a military organization called the Black Fox, secretly conducting genetic research to create super soldiers. They used young soldiers and scientists as guinea pigs, subjecting these dedicated individuals to untold suffering. Levi found a file called Stray Dog inside. Opening it, he discovered that the Black Fox organization was installing a nuclear bomb. This Stray Dog file contained the bomb's self-destruct sequence. The Stray Dog bomb could instantly devastate the entire canyon, with a safe zone for thermal radiation extending to 4.2 kilometers. After leaving the research base, they continued their search for a rope. Unexpectedly, Drossa's foot became entangled in a trap set by a monster. The monster dragged Drossa away, and Levi pursued. They arrived at what looked like a nuclear launch platform. Just as the monster was about to torture Drossa, Drossa broke free and engaged in a fight. Ultimately, Drossa's fire attack caused the monster to burst into flames. Levi arrived at this moment, and the heartwarming scene was deeply moving. Drossa's cries were heartbreaking. They reached the site of the worst nuclear leak. Contaminants lingered in the mist. This disgusting web, seemingly containing heads, resembled a fusion of human and plant. They carefully crossed the suspension bridge. They passed through a thread-like structure filled with monsters. Drossa's shoe caught on a monster's tentacle. The awakened monster took advantage of the situation and entangled Drossa. Fortunately, Levi rushed over with a knife and saved Drossa. The awakened monster began to crawl towards them. Suddenly, a disgusting head appeared in front of Drossa, frightening them both into a run. Just as Levi was running ahead, a monster's tentacle grabbed Levi's foot. Drossa fired another grenade at the monster, detonating it. Drossa quickly climbed down and threw herself on Levi, sending the entire monster into flames. They reached the maintenance area. Levi looked at the jeeps and instantly had a plan to run to the outpost. He found a rope and attached it to the winch of a car. The monster attacked, and Drossa attacked it. With their combined strength, they successfully climbed to the top of the hill using the winch. Just then, the monster also climbed toward them using the rope. Levi fought the monster desperately. After reaching the summit, Levi and Drossa kissed goodbye, perhaps their last. Levi returned to his outpost. Faye discovered the computer at the bottom of the canyon had booted up and asked if Levi had done it. Levi feigned ignorance. Suspecting Drossa, Faye instructed Levi to kill her. By then, Drossa had become Levi's closest lover. Levi pretended to agree to the assassination. In reality, Faye had spotted Drossa and Levi together on camera. The next day, Levi and Drossa planned their plan across the water, exchanging glances. Levi spotted a helicopter with the Black Fox logo on its tail. Drossa and Levi began a desperate escape. It was Faye who disembarked from the helicopter. When Faye realized Levi was no longer at the outpost, she dispatched a drone to search for them. Meanwhile, Drossa's watch indicated they had fled 3.6 kilometers. The drone began firing frantically at Levi. Levi lay on the ground, firing at the drones, eventually destroying one. Drossa also took out one. They set up their heavy sniper rifles from a perfect position. Levi and Drossa simultaneously shot down the surveillance tower across from them. Drossa and Levi dropped their sniper rifles and began running. Only then did Faye realize that the stray dog operation had been activated. With only 2 minutes to escape, she ordered the helicopter to quickly launch and ascend. Drossa and Levi were still 300 meters away from the radiation zone. Levi limped and struggled to run. Meanwhile, the stray dog exploded. The resulting heat wave disabled the helicopter. Faye ultimately failed to escape the atomic bomb's radiation zone. The film, through the enclosed space of the canyon, metaphorically depicts humanity's fear and greed for unknown forces. The emotional arc between Levi and Drossa explores the fragility and resilience of human nature in extreme circumstances, as well as the redemptive power of trust. The design of the Hollow Man alludes to the ethical risks of military experimentation. 6 months later, Drossa sees Levi in front of her own restaurant. This scene is truly heartwarming and filled with jealousy. Friends, do you feel the urge to fall in love again?